You have landed the compliance job interviews. Congratulations, but now comes the big questions. How do you actually stand out? Whether it's your first role in AML or you are moving into a more senior financial crime position, this video will walk you through the most common pitfalls, top tips that actually work, and real example of AML interview questions with sample answers as well. I'm Marco from FinCrime Agent, and after working for over 2 decades in financial crime compliance and speaking with dozens of professionals, I've learned what really helps a candidate stand out in compliance job interviews. So let's go through them and jump into today's video. Let's start with what not to do in compliance job interviews, because even the most experienced professionals sometimes fall into these little traps. First mistake, speaking in buzzword, not outcomes, saying things like, I ensure regulatory compliance. That doesn't mean much unless you explain how you actually did it and what the result was. Second mistake, giving vague examples. If I ask you about a time when you have identified a suspicious transaction, I want the context, the red flags, your responses, and the outcome, not just we flagged it and reported to the MLRO. Third mistake, ignoring the business side. Compliance isn't done in a vacuum. You need to show you understand the commercial impact of financial crime controls, especially in fintech or high-risk sector. Mistake number 4, not preparing for scenario-based questions. These are incredibly common in ML interview questions. If you are caught off guard, it shows a lack of real-world experience or lack of preparation. Now, here is how to shine in your compliance job interview. Tip number 1, use the STAR method but tweak it. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results. But in compliance hiring, I always recommend ending with reflection. What did you learn? How did you improve the process? Tip number 2, speak the language of risk. Frame your experience in terms of risk reduction, regulatory impact, or business exposure. For example, I improved our onboarding process, reducing onboarding time by 30% while strengthening controls against UBO concealment. Tip number 3, know the latest guidance. Stay up to date with FATF trends, sanctions update, or changes to SAR filing procedures. Mentioning this shows that you are proactive and serious about your development. Fourth tip, tailor your experience to their sector. If you are a crypto exchange, talk about VASP and travel rules risk. If it's a retail bank, talk about transaction monitoring volumes and typologies. Fifth tip, prepare your own questions. Ask things like, how do you measure effectiveness of your AML programs? What's your approach to balancing regulatory compliance and customer experience? This shows genuine curiosity and also the maturity that is expected from someone at your level. Let's walk through 2 common AML interview questions and how to answer them in a way that shows experience, confidence, and a growth mindset. First question, can you give an example of a suspicious activity you identified and what steps you took? This is an example of a good answer to that. While working in the transaction monitoring team, I noticed a customer receiving structured cash deposit just under the reporting threshold across multiple branches. I reviewed the account history, saw links to higher risk jurisdiction, and escalated for further reviews. After documenting the rationale and attaching the supporting evidence, I raised an internal suspicious activity report, which was later submitted to the FIU. What I've learned from that case was the importance of not just relying on thresholds, but understanding a behavioral pattern, especially across branch networks. This is the second question. How do you stay current with changes in financial crime regulations? The answer to that could be, I follow FATF updates, subscribe to newsletters from regulators like the FCA, FinCEN, and attend webinars when possible. I'm also part of a peer community on LinkedIn and Slack, where we share insight about the industry. This helped me stay ahead of recent updates on sanction screening expectations and adapt our screening logic accordingly by helping our list management team. Before we wrap up, here is one final tip. Interviewers remember people who are clear, structured, and self-aware. That means being concise but reflective, confident but open to growth, and always tying your experience back to the risk mitigation and real impact. If you want help preparing for your compliance job interview, not just to answer questions, but to really understand what hiring managers are looking for in AML and financial crime roles, then check the FinCrime Career Accelerator, my online course, which is designed to help you gain the practical knowledge, skills, and clarity that you need to stand out. You will find a full breakdown of real financial crime roles, practical exercises, and access to our private community of FinCrime professionals. So head to fincrimeagent.com/online course or click the link in the description. So good luck with your next interview, and let me know in the comments if you faced any tricky questions recently. I may feature them in the next video. If this video was helpful, give it a like and share it with someone that is preparing for their next compliance job interview. And don't forget to subscribe for more insight from the world of AML, sanctions, and financial crime prevention. So thanks for watching. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one.